again, it is I, the Nomad, coming to you live from the wastelands of the internet. And I've decided I wanted to go on a little rant today. All right, and I can hear you all now. Wow. Come on, Nomad, you're always on rants, and that's true. But this one especially gets to me. All right. Lebanon is rocked again by exploding devices as Israel declares a new phase of the war. Beirut. Walkie-talkies and solar equipment exploded in Beirut and other parts of Lebanon on Wednesday in an apparent second wave of attacks targeting devices a day after pagers used by Hezbollah blew up, state media and officials for the militant group said. At least 14 people were killed, more than 450 wounded in the second wave, the ministry said. The attacks, which are widely believed to be carried out by Israel targeting Hezbollah, but have also killed civilians, other precious civilians, have hiked fears that the two sides' simmering conflict could escalate into an all-out war, as if Hezbollah shooting missiles from Lebanon daily hasn't done that. Oh no! You know, this is an escalation. Don't you understand, no man? This is an escalation. Speaking to Israeli troops on Wednesday, the Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said, "We are at the start of a new phase in the war. It requires courage, determination, and perseverance." He made no mention of the exploding devices, but praised the work of Israel's army and security agencies, saying the results are very impressive. In Wednesday's attack, several blasts could be heard at a funeral in Beirut for 3 Hezbollah members and a child killed by exploding pagers. Right? A day before, according to Associated Press journalists at the scene. An AP photographer in central coastal city of Sudan saw a car and a mobile phone shop damaged after devices exploded inside of them. A girl was hurt in the south when a home solar energy system blew up, the state agency reported. Okay. So, what am I ranting about? I cannot state this enough. The ones who decided on what type of war this would be are the civilians in that area. The precious civilians, they couldn't do anything. Oh, yes, they could. They're the ones who select their leaders. If they don't, they can revolt and overthrow them. They had no problem revolting and overthrowing the previous Syrian government, which had a parliamentary system. They've had no problem revolting any other time to get rid of the leaders that they found untenable. But somehow these Palestinians, they just can't find the time to revolt against leaders like Hamas. They had no problem, all right, revolting. Back in the 70s, which led to Black September against the Jordanian government in an attempted coup. But they just can't seem to be able to stand up to Hamas. And what Israel's doing, this ain't alright. This ain't alright. These people, they're innocent millions and children and women and children. They're not innocent women and children. They're collateral damage. At most, they're unwilling human shields. And that's at best. Oh, a child was killed. Okay. What? First of all, how old was the child, number one? And number two, if he was 5 years old and he had a pager on him, he was Hezbollah. I know a lot of you guys in the West, a lot of these young generation. Don't you understand? No, I understand. It's you who don't understand. Do you want to sit up there and capitulate to Hamas? Is that your only solution? Because if you have another solution, all right, aside from just capitulating to these murdering savages and letting them rule the roost, all right, because that is the decision of the Palestinian people, mind you. And Hezbollah is no different. If your solution is, well, just capitulate to them, just capitulate to them, I don't want to talk to you. Now, if you don't want to capitulate to them, please tell me what is the solution you've come up with that hasn't already been tried. There's something called history. I know that this might be kind of tough for you millennials who've never actually cracked open a friggin' book in your lives, right? But there's something called history books. And there are all sorts of history books written on all sorts of conflicts around the world. And they go all the way back to written history of mankind. And you can read about them. And you can read about the battles. And you can read about the wars. And you can also read about the tactics and what it takes to defeat each and every type. And when you're dealing with a guerrilla movement where the civilian population is all for the people who are murdering savages who have no problem watching a child like a toddler's head bashed into a wall, and they think that that's perfectly acceptable. If you want to sit up there and stop that, oh, I'm all willing to. I'm all ready and willing to sit up there and hear what you have to say on how you can defeat that kind of an enemy. And show me where historically where you defeated that kind of an enemy. Because I can show you where they've done it. And you can sit up there and ask very simply, all right, well, where have you seen something like that? Oh, man, where have you seen that? Oh, World War II is a good example. That's the Japanese. Because that's what was happening in Japan. That's what was happening in Okinawa. That's what was happening in Iwo Jima. That is exactly what was happening. What did it take to defeat that? We can't do that. We can't do that. Okay, go back a little bit further. When the United States was fighting in the Philippines during well, actually just after the Spanish-American War, what did it take to pacify the Philippines? What did it take? I know people don't like the answers. I know people wish that there was a better way to do things, but there isn't always. And you can whinge, you can cry, all right? All you want. You're not fixing the problem. And in fact, what you're doing is you're helping to ensure the problem continues. Either that or you're a supporter and you want to live under the rules of murdering savages like Hamas. Those are your choices. That's what you're doing. You're either A, not involved in solving the problem, and B, you are giving flipping aid and support to the very murdering savages that you don't want to live under. You better wake up, people. You better wake up. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Hope you all have a good day. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye, everybody.